What's up, Lions fans? We are back. It's been another good week of Lions news out there. A lot of things coming out of Detroit. Some pretty exciting stuff. Mostly exciting. I really haven't heard much bad news going on out there.
Yeah, I mean it's been pretty good.
So, without further ado, let's jump into this episode. Today, we're gonna start off talking a little bit about OTAs. We've had a lot of guys that are impressing out, and there's a lot of the young core of Detroit that's standing out.
yeah, I mean there's a lot of stuff going on there. And then we have a new Lion.
We do.
We'll talk about that. I'm sure pretty much everybody has heard about it. I mean, maybe not everybody, but if you're on social media, you know who it is. So we'll talk
If you
more
watch
about
the
that.
show, you probably know who it is by how excited we are. Huh?
That too. Maybe a couple YouTube shorts or something that made it obvious who it was. So
It's also time to get your guys' voice in there this week. It's Banter Mailbag Day. So we've collected some questions off our X page. Shameless plug, go follow us at Lions Banter on X. That is our @ right?
Yeah,
I'm not messing
yeah.
that one up. Okay.
Yeah, you see it right here on our show here. So
Yeah, so we've collected some questions from you guys, and we'll be taking some time to answer that. Get your voices on the show a little bit, and some things that you have burning questions for us to answer.
yeah. And then we've got some good news.
We do.
Picked up a new sponsor this week.
Yes, we did.
So we'd like to take a moment to thank Andy Neer with Empire Contractors. He's out of Shelby, Michigan, and we'll talk a little more about it. But I just want to give him a plug at the beginning of the show here. First of all, because he's new, but also because he's a super good guy. Detroit is kind of built on those hardworking, all grit guys, those blue collar guys, and that's Andy Neer. I can tell you a real quick story. Basically, he started out doing asphalt shingles and stuff on people's on actual like house roofs. And when my wife and I were struggling way back in the day, I'm talking like 15 years ago, he actually came and helped us out with that majorly. So he's a good guy. We'll talk about him more later in the show, though.
Yep. But first, before we get to that, let's dive right into our main event here, and let's kick it off with the news that everybody wants to hear. We got a new Lion on this team. Cue the air horns, get it going, put the claps on there.
Let's go. Let's hear. We can even do this. All right.
So, without further ado, let's introduce our newest Lion. We've got kicker Jake Bates from the Michigan Panthers.
It's Jacob Bates, by the way.
It is not. Don't let him fool you. He goes by Jake, not Jacob. I don't know why he thinks he's a father figure to him, and he's got to say that.
Because I manifested his new job.
So, Jake Bates, kicker from Michigan Panthers. You know him. We've been talking about him for a long time. UFL kicker.
Yep.
Been nailing long-distance kicks all year long. He is expected to sign a 2-year deal with Detroit.
Yep.
Obviously.
When you're talking long distance, we're not talking like 38 to 50 yards. We're talking 64, 63-yard kicks.
Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, isn't 64 the current NFL record? Is that the one that Justin Tucker
You
hit
know it
against
is.
us?
It's crazy, and it happened in the stadium where he's going to be kicking. So
I absolutely hate thinking about that record because we all know how that one happened. Throwback to the Baltimore Ravens and Justin Tucker breaking the hearts of the Lions with a doink off the crossbar to win the game.
yes, sir. That was I feel like that was a game where Dan Campbell turned it around. After that, it was let's get our heads in the game.
Yeah.
So.
Enough about the past, though. We're
Yes,
looking
sir.
into the future. So we've got Michigan Panthers kicker Jake Bates signing 2-year deal. Can't make that official till Tuesday, unfortunately. So we'll have more details on
X UFL Panthers kicker.
Okay. We'll have more details on those contract numbers as they come out. But he is obviously an outstanding kicker. He was named to the All UFL team, which would be the NFL's equivalent to the All Pro.
Yep.
Or the All Pro teams. Yeah. So he was named to that. We talked about. I just said we'll talk about those contract numbers. I think the more important thing we need to talk about right now is the contract numbers of some other guys at that same position who currently hold the roster spot for the Lions.
Yep.
So as you just pointed out to me, this may spell some pretty bad news for Michael Badgley, which I'm not upset about, but it may spell bad news. Why don't you go ahead and dive into kind of what's going on with Badgley's contract?
Yeah. So we signed him earlier this year. We gave him a 1-year, $1.2 million contract. Only $350,000 of that was guaranteed. And when that signing happened, I think we thought that was the guy that we were looking at. Like, that's the guy. We signed him. He's familiar with the place. We talked about it on the show when that happened. I think we actually broke that when it happened, actually, if I remember right.
I believe we were live when that came out.
I think I was saying something bad about Badgley, and then it came out that we signed him.
His ears were burning.
But with that contract, and we'll go into another contract after this. I'll let you take that one. But with that contract, it's really easy to get out of that one. So I think that might spell some bad news for Badgley. The nice thing also is, shout out Jack Harlow. We got options. So let's talk about that other guy that's been showing up in OTAs and looking good.
That should be the last Jack Harlow thing you quote. That's not going to go well. Like, are you going to talk about your nail tech next?
I mean, I've already done. I've already done a very embarrassing, like, white 35-year-old dad dance on the show. And real quick, shout out Father's Day tomorrow. Don't forget. Make sure you get your dad something nice. Take him golfing. We're going golfing too. So,
yep.
All right, this other kicker that we have.
So we have another kicker on the team. Probably guys don't know this guy as well. He's relatively new. He's an undrafted free agent out of this draft class from the Michigan Wolverines.
He's a champion.
James Turner. He's a kicker that we signed, like I said, undrafted. 3 years, $2.8 million contract. 2,500 of that is guaranteed. Obviously, you're not going to get a big guaranteed contract as an undrafted free agent. It's just not how that works.
They guaranteed a signing bonus, and
especially as a kicker, you're not going to get this huge guaranteed contract.
Right.
But
a kicker too at that point, I mean, I don't think they thought he'd do as well as he's been doing.
Yeah.
So.
The expectation is Jake Bates is going to sign a 2-year deal, and I think something comparable to Turner's deal, maybe a little bit more because he's shown productivity in a pro league already.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, to me, what I see coming down the pipeline here is Badgley. I think Badgley is going to be the first one gone out of that competition. We've known that Turner has been out dueling him so far in the off-season workouts.
Last couple weeks for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So it wouldn't surprise me at all that we opt to go away from experience with Badgley and we keep Turner and we get Bates in to compete with him, and then may the best man win at that point.
Yep. And field goal kicking it hasn't lost us games really, not much, but it's been an issue during the games. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Well, let's be honest. When's the last time we watched a Lions game and they bring the kicking unit out on the field and we're not nervous?
And we're like, yeah, we might win this, but
no. when Matt Prater was a Lion.
Yeah, that's the last time I remember, probably, honestly. But yeah. So real quick, with this signing, the icing on the cake, maybe, was the fact that the Green Bay Packers were going to sign him if we didn't. And we got him first. Yep. So we go and steal Terry and Arnold by trading up and steal him just before they pick. And then we go and steal Jake Bates. Mm-hmm.
So the last point I want to say on this kicker conversation with Jake Bates is he was very, very consistent indoors this year.
Yes.
I don't have the exact numbers pulled up, but I think he hit all of his field goals indoors, if not, upwards of 80-90% of them.
Right, quite a few.
He did struggle in outdoor conditions, but the good thing is the Lions play just about probably 3/4 of their games indoors this year.
Yeah, I believe it was like 14 out of 17.
We're somewhere around 13. I think it was 13, I believe. We played 13 games in stadiums this year with no outdoor effects from the environment. So it should be a match made in heaven should he make this team.
And he already knows what the color of the goalposts are in Ford Field, so we're good to go there.
He's hit him through there quite a few times.
Maybe he's not even going to clean out his locker. He might have his name up there, and it might just be in like that, I don't know, gold and maroon color.
I have a feeling that they weren't giving them the locker room. So. Like maybe they were using the visitors' locker room or something. I don't know what goes on there. But we're gonna move on. That's the new Lion that we have. Let's dive
go,
into what we've got with some OTA news coming out this week.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good news for the young core of the Lions. Why don't you go ahead and start that one off for us?
Yeah, I think it's been looking really good. And I'm going to start with Terrion Arnold. Everything I see, everything I hear, everything I read is this dude is taking major strides as a rookie in OTAs. I've heard people, I'm people close to the organization that are there at practice. I've seen them posting basically that he plays like a vet, and he's smooth, and he's clean.
I'm glad you just pointed out smooth because I just saw a video this week of him working out. I'm not sure who was his running mate, but they were doing those hip swivel drills where they're making them turn their bodies and twist, and fluid motion.
The other guy kind of stumbled a little bit, but
there was
he
some hesitation.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was fluid motion all the way through.
All right. So let's talk something that's not going to be popular.
I mean, is that too much of a jump for you? I feel like that's always something coming out of your mouth that I'm not going to like.
Yeah, I think the problem is I think you're not going to be alone on this one. I can see Terrion Arnold as CB1 by week 8.
Oh, God. So what, are you bagging on Carlton Davis then? Is that what's going on?
There's something out there that shows the cornerback that allowed the most receiving yards was Cam Sutton. He's gone.
Makes sense. Thank God.
Also on that list of that short list of cornerbacks was the person that played 12 games last year, Carlton Davis. I'm just saying.
Okay, so
I like Carlton Davis. I think we took 2 cornerbacks for a reason that early in the draft, and I think that's what it was. He's going to get the torch is going to be handed.
Nope.
I'm winning. I got it. Zach's super cold takes. Here we go.
Coin this. You're an idiot.
It's already been coined. Buy the T-shirt.
So, I understand what you're saying. I did see the same graphic where they had them tiered down in terms of
who allows
the most yardage. So you had shut up. You had Cam Sutton up at the top in tier 1 by himself.
Yep.
And you had a few below. Carlton Davis was in tier 3.
12
with
games.
A group of guys. I understand he's played 12 games. The thing with Carlton Davis is, and I've seen this posted a lot, and I agree, is he does take chances. He takes a lot of chances in coverage, but that's his pedigree. He takes chances because more times than not, they're going to end up in big plays for him.
Okay, so big play Slay energy then.
Kind of, yes. I think they're a little bit different, but the other thing is that he takes big play, or he makes these big risks, and sometimes that works out in his favor. Sometimes it burns him, and that's going to put yardage up against you. That's going to be like an 80-yard CeeDee Lamb touchdown, or whatever. It's going to happen. That happens to everybody.
I'm all in on Terrion Arnold.
Okay, so
I'm just saying. I think what I said. Did I say week 8?
Yeah. What gives you the
week 9?
What gives you the confidence?
His confidence.
Okay, but what gives you the confidence that he's going to be ready to play? You can have all the confidence, and that benefits you, yes. But is that going to translate to being ready to play on the field in an NFL stadium?
I don't have it written down, but you saw his 40-yard time, right? He reportedly ran that on a bum hamstring. So he's got speed. He's got size. He played at Alabama, who has essentially an NFL roster, as well as playing against NFL rosters, as well as an NFL playbook.
I'm going to throw this back at you, though.
I'm going to throw it right back at you. I'm going to bounce it.
I'm fine with Terrion Arnold. I'm fine with you being confident in him. I will not accept the Carlton Davis slander because I also...
It's not slander. It was a stat.
It is slander.
It's a stat.
You're slandering him. Shut up. So we're getting to the second point I want to say is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played a scheme last year that does not fit Carlton Davis's skill set. They run a lot of zone coverage over there. Carlton Davis is at his best when he's manned up in a press situation on a wide receiver. They didn't do that very much for him.
Well, we didn't either because we couldn't. Because we didn't have a player that could do that.
Todd Bowles taking over as the head coach and switching things up, and I think it hindered him, and it made him look worse than he is. I think if we can get back We run zone because we had no choice but to run zone.
Week 8.
Aaron Glenn is a man-to-man.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Defense guy. That's what he wants.
No, I agree with you because he even came out and said, like, we finally got the guys that I can run my defense
on. So that's what I'm telling you is by saying that we ran a lot of zone last year, that's fine, but we're not going to do that this year. That's why we.
No, I know. I got you. I will say. I mean, again, he was a Super Bowl winner, so obviously that doesn't happen on accident. I get that. I totally get that. But I think by not extending Carlton Davis, I think that the writing is on the wall. That our thought is that the torch will be handed to Terrion Arnold, and I do think that a couple of these, like you're saying, week 1, what's going to happen? We're going to be playing against Cooper Kupp if he's healthy. Who the heck knows at this point? And Puka Nacua.
I
mean, already, that's a tough ask.
And then week 2 is what? Is that the Tampa Bay game where we have
Tampa Bay,
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin?
Yep. And then I think it's I can't remember who we have after that, but then we go and we got that Monday night game against DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So I'm just saying,
and Jigba if he ends up playing.
Right. It's gonna be this cornerback room, not just Carlton Davis, is going to be tested fast and early. And we'll see.
There are a lot of good wide receivers. I will say also in that first 5-week stretch, Seahawks would be week 5, right before our bye week, I believe.
I think week 5 is our bye, so we got them week 4. Yep.
Yeah, so then I think our schedule goes, if I'm remembering right, we
get
Rams, Bucks, and then Cardinals, and then Seahawks.
That's what it was.
And the Cardinals is Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, that's true. Now that he's signed his damn contract,
but he's a really good rookie.
Now that he's signed on and is allowed to wear a jersey or whatever the heck else he's got going on.
Well, I don't know if he signed his NFLPA.
I do think. No, I don't think he signed that.
So then that he won't. He hasn't signed to give his likeness away to anything.
I don't think so. No, I don't think he has. I don't think they can sell his jersey or anything yet.
No, he has to sign the NFL Players Association.
He signed his contract for the team, but I don't think he signed that yet. I don't think he will.
Well, because that ties in with like Madden and that.
I don't care. I'm not going to use him on Madden anyway. Cardinals are ass.
Okay.
anyways,
Zach doesn't like Carlton Davis. Let it be known. Carlton Davis, if you're out there, I could give you his address.
Carlton Davis, if you're out there, I got more faith in Amis Anderson.
If you guys haven't paid attention to the show, Zach butchered Amik Robertson's name.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You sent me a text and said, Miss Anderson. A-M-I-C.
He's a big name, bro.
Anderson.
All right, listen up. So I just want to make this clear. I am not saying that I hate Carlton Davis. I'm not saying that I don't think he'll be a good player and even, a solid starter. I'm making it clear that I'm saying he'll be CB2. Terrion Arnold will take over CB1.
Okay, that's fine. Let's move off of this.
That's fine. I disagree with you.
I'm tired of you being wrong, so I'm going to move on. So the next guy we're going to talk about standing out in OTAs is Jameson Williams.
Here we go again.
We all know who he is, the wide receiver out of Bama.
Yep.
Has had a few stumbles to start his career. First year, obviously recovering from that torn ACL that he had with Bama. Didn't get a full offseason in. Really didn't play much the entire season. We get to the second year. Things are looking good. We're going to roll in, and then he gets suspended for gambling. Misses the entire offseason. The first, how many games? 4 weeks of the season, was it?
Yeah, it was going to be 6, I think, and then they reinstated him early.
He appealed and got reinstated.
They changed the rule, is what it was.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He's got a full off season.
Yep.
Coming up. And he looks like he's been hitting the weight room. He's bulking up quite a bit.
He says this is the first time that he hasn't. I mean, even in Alabama, he said he had these natural gifts that he didn't feel like he never had to do any weightlifting. And this year, he said he's lifting like a big boy, and he looks it.
That's good. He's always been he's got the speed, obviously, and with that, sometimes you get a bit more lanky receivers, and that's kind of what he's been. So if he can fill out and keep that speed, I mean, he's not the same size, obviously, but you could see more of like a DK Metcalf type thing, where DK Metcalf, we all know, we've all seen the video of him sprinting down the guy who intercepted the ball and
Oh my
taking him
gosh.
down, basically at like a 100-yard sprint. He could
Solid.
be that same kind of have a bigger build, but still keep that speed. That's going to help us on 50-50 balls.
Yep.
He's already pulling in 50-50 balls for us.
For sure.
No, it's good to see him, start to mature a little bit, I guess, and understand that natural talent only takes you so far. You have to put the work in order to get to that next level.
That's the scary part is look what he did on natural talent last year in a shortened season with no off season, and now he's taking stuff seriously. Like that's that's scary. Speaking of scary,
okay,
the photo that surfaced of OTAs of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams in trips to the left. Imagine that. And then having Gibbs out of the backfield as a safety valve. Goodness.
I am telling you,
I can't wait for Madden.
Ben Johnson is going to be cooking up some stuff this year.
Yep.
He has not. I understand that he probably had some of this stuff rolling, but he wasn't able to use it. We didn't know what Gibbs was going to be initially, and he showed us everything we wanted and more in his rookie year. And we still got David Montgomery there. So, like, if you don't want to use Gibbs as your natural running back one at that position out of the backfield, stick Monty back there, throw Gibbs in at a receiver if you want. It's so crazy the weapons he has and the versatility of these guys that Ben Johnson is going to be able to do whatever he wants on offense.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be scary. So
we talked about maturing too, and it's not only maturing, as in just understanding what he's got to do work ethic wise for Jameson Williams, but just listening to the way he talks in press conferences and the thoughtfulness behind his answers. It's a different tone from what we've seen.
He's grown
Jameson
up a little.
Williams
He's
before.
grown up a little. You talked about Ben Johnson, and obviously, like I think a lot of us do see him as a mad scientist on offense. He's a mad scientist. I have pictures of him looking at defenses and eating popcorn with a smile like Kelsey Plum. He's ready to go.
Oh, don't bring that photo back into my mind. I don't want to see that. I'd be happy if I never saw another image of Kelsey Plum in my life.
Come on, man. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the next person. Linebacker Jack Campbell. We're talking about people maturing. We're talking about people growing into their bodies and looking more like an NFL player. First of all, he came in looking like an NFL player, but now he's moving like an NFL player. He has grown into his body. The dude looks out there like he's playing super well. Sounds like he's learning from Anzalone. Probably poised to take that torch. Anzalone's got another year after this one. But I see him in Barnes. I guess I don't know what Barnes will be, but I see him taking over that Anzalone torch. So he needs to start growing out his golden locks. So he's ready to go on that. But other than that, other than the golden locks, Jack Campbell is looking the part. So
yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more linebacker rotation this year. Obviously, Anzalone's going to be playing the majority of the snaps because he is that coach on the defense. Yep. He has that green dot on the back of his helmet, so he's going to be the communicator.
Deserved. Yep.
So you're going to see him playing the majority of the snaps. But that rotation behind him at that second inside linebacker spot or whatever they decide to do, I don't know if they'll be playing, putting Anzalone at the Mike and then the other guy at more of a Will linebacker spot or a Sam linebacker spot. But that's going to be taken up by Derek Barnes and Jack Campbell. And the occasional Rodrigo, I think we'll see him sprinkled in here and there when it benefits us. To me, it seemed like last year when we put Jack Campbell and Rodrigo in, it was more of like either it's going to be a blitz play where they're sending that guy because of their speed and talent to break through blocks on the line, or it was a blitz fake where they're showing blitz, but then they're going to drop back into coverage.
Right.
And it mixes up what the quarterback's seeing, obviously, right? So I think we're gonna see a lot more of that, but there's gonna be a lot higher of a role put on Jack Campbell in coverage as well.
And the nice thing about that is, even in the notes, I kind of put down that he's a high IQ player. Obviously, he's physically gifted, But he's got a really good football mind, and I think dropping back into coverages and doing that kind of stuff, reading coverages and stuff is something he's going to be able to do this year pretty well. So, yeah.
So next up, we've our last guy we're actually going to talk about here for OTAs was Colby Sorsdahl,
A little
who
bit of a surprise.
you may not know. I mean, some people may know him, some people may not. He's an offensive lineman who we drafted last year.
Saw some rotation after some injuries.
He did, and that's really, I think, we both are going to say here is that's what we're going to see more out of him this year is that rotational piece who you can just fill in at any spot you want. Yep. He played a lot of, or he played some right tackle last year, I believe, when we had Decker that went down, and we moved Sewell over to left tackle, put Sorsdahl in at right tackle. He's played some guard as well last year.
Yeah, and with Vaitai being hurt and all that stuff, so he had to move around a little.
That's one of those things that the Lions have been really good. Hank Fraley has been really good about is finding these guys that can just, mix and match on the offensive line and stick them where you need them. Graham Glasgow is maybe one of the most elite guys at doing that. He can play either guard position. He's a natural center. But it's incredible to me that they keep finding these guys that are Swiss Army knives on that offensive line.
Yeah, buzzword Swiss Army knife for sure. That's what they're looking for. The other thing is that he's been soaking up that Dan Campbell culture. He was available to media for a while, and you can just see like these guys are mimicking him in the pressers, and it's they look up to Dan Campbell. I'm saying the players are mimicking Dan Campbell. You can tell that he has a way with them.
He has aura.
Yes. But and they're all trying to, essentially do the same thing, just calm, cool, collected. It seems like all of their answers are thought out well. They're all answering based on the culture. They're answering based on what the coach has told them, and they're doing really well with that too. So.
Well, it appears they're not only mimicking him in terms of his, the way he talks, speaks,
but they're all eating enchiladas.
No, but they're all trying to be the Dan Campbell body type with the bulk. They're all
that's
bulking
true.
Up because we talk about again. Sorsdahl has been hitting the weight room as well.
He looks good.
A lot bigger than what he was before.
Yep.
And I'm not talking big as in he's been, going out to the Golden Corral and golfing down the all you can eat buffet. I'm talking like weight room. He's got a lot more
that Golden Corral, definition. Man. The chocolate fountain never was for me. Anyway, so that's what we kind of have going on for OTAs.
This show is brought to you by Empire Contractors over here in Shelby, Michigan, on the west side of the state where we do our show, right along the lakeshore. Empire Contractors is a commercial roofing contractor who specializes in liquid applied roofing restoration. Check this out.
They can clean your existing roof, make some minor repairs, and apply a new thick coating system over your existing roof, avoiding expensive and nasty tear-off, saving you about half the cost over other systems. Empire Contractors work the entire Great Lakes region.
Give them a call to see if your roof is a candidate. They can be reached at 231-861-7221 or by going to roofsbyempire.com. They are also on Facebook.
Now we'll move into the Banter Mailbag. I think everybody's been pretty excited to see what we got going on here. We posted the question earlier this week, and we got quite a few questions coming back. So without further ado, our first a lot of questions come from @OnePrideMuse. And I just want to throw out there real quick, One Pride Muse is one of those people that are constantly on our X page and
very good at interacting.
Yes, interactions are great.
That.
Yes, a lot of these people are. But yeah. So the first question that was asked there is, which Lions defensive back do you think will have the best season overall this upcoming season? And we've already thought about this.
Go ahead.
I think it'll be Terrion Arnold. I really do. I think he'll have some ups and downs as he'll make some rookie mistakes. There will be some head scratchers. And then there are going to be some really, really good plays. If I had to do maybe a tie with somebody, I would actually put Brian Branch in there.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, notice how he said defensive back. So we can include safeties in this. This is not just the cornerbacks. I'm not going to say any of the cornerbacks. I'm moving to the safety position. This is going to be a big year for Iffy Melifonwu.
Okay, so I've seen a lot of people, and I don't think it's been anybody with the Lions, company here, but I do think that a lot of people are seeing that Iffy might not play as much as you think.
That's fine. I don't care. If he didn't play as much as, or if he didn't play that much last year, he played a lot after Gardner Johnson went down, and then we
they didn't have a
with
choice.
Rotation, and we weren't. He was like in and out, and then near the end of the season, he was full time back there with Kirby Joseph.
Yep.
This year, he's gonna be the starter across from Kirby Joseph. We might play him a lot more rotation, which is fine, but in my opinion, he's going to be a star. I think he made a lot of big plays this year, and splash plays are great, but he's going to be a lot more consistent. He's getting a lot more work in the offseason. He's got a lot more load management being put on him, and I think that's only going to elevate him, especially, and I know we talked about this last week, how it doesn't necessarily have an effect on a player.
Yep.
He's in a contract year. He's coming up on needing a new contract. And that's not saying that he's going to perform well because he wants the money. Yes, that may play into it, especially looking at
tread lightly on grasshopper.
Especially looking at his agent, who is a de facto member of the Italian mafia, I guess. But
yeah, that's right. I forgot he had.
I don't know his name, but he's he's the
old top hat dude on the sidelines.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking.
He's Tommy Cutlet's agent from New York.
Yeah.
DeVito's agent.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Big Don is actually his secret service or whatever.
He also represents Iffy, so whatever. But I do think that he's going to have extra motivation to play well because he wants either a contract from the Lions or somebody else is going to give him a multi-year deal if we can.
Well, yeah, and then like you're saying, if he doesn't re-sign, then the Lions will be swimming with the fishes. So that's
okay. Well, that's I think we're good there. I don't think. So we're gonna move on to
next one's a fun one.
One Pride Muse's second of 6 questions that he has here.
One Pride Muse, we appreciate you.
Our top 10 Bulge Army members. If you don't know what the Bulge Army is, it's a group of great Lions fans on Twitter and
misunderstood Lions fans.
They just happen to make their Twitter handles have to do with different members.
Yeah, I got that all of a sudden.
Different phallic symbols of Lions players, staff, and front office members.
I just want to throw something out there real quick. First of all, what the Bulge Army has done to help us here has been major. And we'll have one of them with some questions that they asked. But I think they're a misunderstood movement. I think they have really good intentions. It's our job to stay neutral. So, I always hope that people aren't upset about the way that we're following people and how our interactions go. But it's one pride mentality over here, man. The Lions fans are Lions fans, and we appreciate you all. And that's actually going to be my answer because I don't have a top 10 favorite Bulge members because I think you guys are all awesome. I think people that are non-Bulge members that don't even agree with the Bulge are still awesome. We're all Lions fans. Let's go.
You guys hear that? That's Zach's lips planted squarely on the butts of everybody because he's too afraid to say somebody's name.
Okay. Who do you got then? Who do you got?
I'm going to start off with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brad Holmes Bulge.
That goes without saying.
He's right.
Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it?
The de facto guy.
Do I have to say it? What? Do I have to say his name? Because
yeah, you do. BHB deserves all the recognition he gets.
All right, let's go. I don't know all of them. That's the problem. BHB.
Number 2. Wait.
Jared Goff's Bulge.
BHB, number 2, free my man, Jared Goff's Bulge.
He's already free.
He's back.
He's free.
I know he's free.
He's free.
Don't you dare lock him back up again, Elon. Don't you dare do it.
We're coming for you.
So, Jared Goff's Bulge is up there.
The Bulge Army is coming.
I like myself.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Some Waymo.
That's a good one. I like Waymo a lot. Yep. That's the thing. It's hard to rank you guys, man. Davenport's awesome. Old speaker. Yep. Speaker Bulge. Wingo's Dingo, old Sarah, she's pretty cool. There's a bunch of you. And obviously One Pride Muse, I think he's actually One Pride Bulge. So they're we've got bulges all over the place, man. They're surrounding us. So
my thought process during the day is constantly filled with bulge.
It really is though. Like you look, it's like all right. Open up my X notifications, and there's like bulges all over the place. And I'm thankful that it's just in the name and not pictures or whatever else.
We've got. I mean, I'm not gonna rank you guys by my favorites, but we've got JMO's joystick. We got Hank Fraley's hog.
That's JGB.
Oh, that's his burner account. Yes, we've got.
That's Jared Goff's bulge burner account. I love you guys, man. This is I love it. Yeah, I like all of them.
There's many more that I could name. Frank Ragnow's bulge. There's what is it? Ennis Rakestraws Jr.
Yep. Percy's rocket is gone now. Decided to leave, but that was actually Jared Goff's dog. I can't take it, man.
We're moving on. Thank you, One Pride Muse, for making us spend a good 5 minutes talking about bulges. Moving on. Who will end up as our starting kicker?
It's just another Saturday.
Who will end up as our starting kicker by the time the season ends? Michael Badgley, James Turner, or Jake Bates? We've already, discussed the backstory on this. I don't think we need to give any background on why we think they're going to win, what we're going to think. Just give me one name.
Jacob Bates.
I'm going to say Jake Bates as well.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're not going to go too much farther. No. I just feel like the way that the contracts were set up, that's the most serious contract.
The last thing I will say regarding the kicker conversation, I know I said this before, it will be a James Turner, Jake Bates battle at the end, and we will see who wins. But my money's on Jake Bates.
One of them will end up on the practice squad. One of them will be on the team. Okay. Badgley will be jobless or elsewhere.
Looking for a different job.
Yep.
Moving on, sleeper pick for Lions MVP for this upcoming season. Not the MVP of the league. We're not jumping that far. Just the best player on the Lions team, the one that has the most impact this season across offense and defense.
Dude, One Pride Muse, man, dude, those are good questions. This is dope. Jahmyr Gibbs, most important player on this team.
Okay. I'm
going to change my mind. I changed my mind.
Oh, my God.
Okay, go ahead, and then I'll change my mind.
No, the indecisiveness. Just say it.
It's hard, man.
Next one.
The bulge is hard.
Give me your answer.
Jameson Williams, most important player. Most important player.
Okay. I'm going to go with the unsung heroes. We can talk about them. We talk about them a lot in Detroit just because we know how good they are. But that offensive line, it's going to be Graham Glasgow.
I thought you were going to say Penei Sewell.
I would have said Penei Sewell. That's the
obvious.
We all know Penei Sewell is going to play great. He's a certified Hall of Famer in his third year. He's going to have it. I don't care what anyone else says. He's going to be a Hall of Famer when his career's done.
See, and so many times, like, most valuable player. Okay, so, like, you think about stats, you think about all this stuff, and I'm agreeing with you, by the way. You think about all that. To me, the way I look at this question is, who is the most pivotal, important person to the success of the next step of this team? And that's a good one. Yeah. J-Mo's mine.
So Penei Sewell on the right side, we know what he's going to be. Great. Left tackle, Taylor Decker, we know what he's
if healthy,
be.
Great.
If he gives us a healthy full season, great. Frank Ragnow, going to be great. He's
on 9 toes
we don't
or
need
whatever.
To talk, he's whatever. He's going to have how many toes and one ass cheek, and he'll beat your ass.
It's still good.
So that leaves the left guard and the right guard spot that I don't want to say uncertain about because we lost Jonah Jackson. That's likely where we're either going to see. I'm not sure if they've made a decision yet on where we're going to see Glasgow play. I would expect him to stay at right guard though. So we're going to be looking to fill that left guard spot. Graham Glasgow is going to be a full-time starter this year and expected to anchor that right guard spot.
Yes.
And it's going to be huge for him because he's going to have to be the guy that takes on blocks and then helps double team on that right side with Ragnow when they're pulling or whatever.
How amazing is it to think about that O-line real quick? Not to go off on a tangent, but you just named the starters. We talked about Kobe Sorsdahl. We have Mahogany coming in.
Dan Skipper.
We have Dan Skipper. Well, yeah,
Dan
so
Skipper,
far,
Dan
probably.
Skipper has played guard.
I know, but I'm saying I'm not so sure that Dan Skipper has a spot on 53. But we'll see. But how crazy is it that you're naming the best, now for sure, the best offensive line in the NFL when healthy? And we've got people behind them like Sorsdahl, who showed out last year pretty well, and Mahogany, who was a steal in the draft when we took him. Don't know what he'll be, but
Giovanni Manu.
I forgot about the freaking beast. Oh my gosh. Okay.
He's got a lot of development to do. We probably won't see him play this season. But Giovanni Manu, great.
Right.
Moving on.
My goodness.
We're good there. Some potential cap casualties that we should be worried about in the near future.
I just said one.
Dan Skipper.
I think Dan Skipper's one. I think you're going to not lose, but I think you're going to have a couple. I think that cornerback room is now full. I don't know. I don't have a name to throw out there, but I think that the DB room total is full. I would say Dan Skipper, in my opinion, is probably the biggest one, though.
I don't
figuratively and actually.
This one pains me to say, right? Rodrigo.
I was just gonna go there. I was like, if you don't say him, I got another one. Yeah,
Rodrigo
favorite.
Is a fan favorite because he gave us so much to root for when Lions fans didn't have anything to root for.
He was fun. Yeah.
His initial Hard Knocks that we got, him and Hutch were killing it and just giving us stuff to cheer for each week. Yeah, exactly. And it hurts me because I think he is a good player, and I think if he had an increased role, he could be a good player. But we've just got so many guys talented in front of him.
However, it has been said that he's this is from the coaching staff. He has been willing to do other things, and that makes him valuable to this team. I'm not saying that he makes it, but he's definitely putting the odds in his favor.
No, that's good. You're a player like that. You need to do anything you can to stick.
And now we have Aleem McNeil as fullback. So, it's not happening.
So
it's not.
I'm not worried about it because I'm not going to say I don't care about him, but he hasn't done much. It's kind of what have you done for me lately type thing. Levi Onwuzurike, probably gone.
Yeah, again, I've come to terms with that. You're going to keep saying it every stinking week trying to get a rise out of me.
I think another one, Kamish.
That sucks. That one hurts. I didn't even think about Kamish because he's just been a piece that makes sense here. I had to take a second. I had to pour some out right here for him because I love Kamish. He's the defensive equivalent to
John Kaminsky, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, sorry. He's the defensive equivalent to Dan Skipper to me. Like, we'll go in there and do literally anything. If it's the second play of the first quarter or the last play of the fourth quarter, if that's his first play, he gives it everything he's got. And that one does hurt for real. Honestly, for me, that one hurts me more than Rodrigo.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt me more than Rodrigo.
I know you're a Rodrigo stan, though, kind of, honestly.
We'll move on. We don't need to be sad on the show now. So, are there any games this upcoming season we should be worried about in any way, shape, or form? He specifically pulled out Texans, Niners, etc. But the Texans and the Niners are two that he specifically pointed out. I'll let you go ahead.
So to me, we already went through what we think are wins and losses. I think the Texans, we both had them as a loss. So, if we win that one, awesome. I'm not worried about that game. I'm not worried about a certain game. I would really like to beat the Seahawks this year. I'm sick of losing to the Seahawks. There's a lot of them that are revenge games like that one, Cowboys. I don't think I'm worried about, and you talked about it actually, I'm more worried about the December stretch than I am of any particular game. That December stretch is going to be really hard without any kind of bye or anything. It's going to be tough.
I'm going to be honest, and this is going to sound like me being a same old Lions fan, and it's not, but I am worried about a lot of games. And it's not because I don't think we can't beat them. It's because I'm thinking if those teams develop into what they could be, it's going to be a battle.
Rams.
Week 1 Rams. I'm going to be honest with you. No. Not even on my list.
Packers.
I'm thinking division. Packers, Vikings. Don't really care about the Bears. I'm not that sold on them.
Are you kidding me? Caleb Williams wants more rings than Tom Brady.
Whatever. Caleb Williams can.
They all do, but
then he can paint 8 rings on his fingernails. I don't know what to tell.
Somebody said on X, well, then he better plan on getting married 8 times.
Yeah. I'm thinking those 2 games against the Packers, 2 games against the Vikings. I'm thinking the Niners and the Texans, yes.
The Vikings are going to play pissed off.
Those ones scare me. I'm not scared. Everyone's gonna say it. I'm not scared. Seahawks, not scared.
I'm not saying I'm scared. I want to
us.
beat them.
Yes.
I just want to beat them.
The past has burned us, but they have a significant drop off in talent this year, and they lost their head coach, who was a very, very good head coach.
Yeah.
And
that's a good
They got
point.
McDonald now, right? They got Mike McDonald from Baltimore and Michigan.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think so, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to quote
McDonald
it. I'm not
there.
sure.
They do, because Mike McDonald was between the Seahawks and the Commanders took Dan Quinn.
Okay.
So McDonald for the Seahawks. He's young. He's gonna be good eventually, I think. He's a very good defensive mind. He's rose through the ranks exceptionally fast, but it's gonna take some lumps, and I don't think they're gonna be that great this year.
Right.
The other one that I am thinking about that I'm a little bit scared is still Dallas, just because Dallas is a talented football team, and they had some pieces that they were playing without last year. I'm pretty sure Diggs was out when we played them.
Yeah, but they also don't have Gallup, which I know that he wasn't huge, but he was still a piece.
They lost their left tackle, Tyron Smith, to free agency.
They're going to be playing Trey Lance by the time we play them. I'm serious. I see that happening. I see them moving on.
But it's okay, because they're going to be a beast because they got Zeke back.
Well, yeah. I mean, whatever, I guess.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not. Okay. All right, let's move on.
Thank you to One Pride Muse. That's the end of his 6 questions that took up a whole 30-minute segment of our show. I'm just kidding.
You the man.
Thanks for all the questions. We really do appreciate it. It keeps us engaged, gives us some good content to talk about. So.
Next one we got the
man, the myth, the legend.
Nope. I was gonna say the man, the myth, but you can't say the legend because our dad has that nickname. He's the legend. So
I don't care. I'll still call him. He's the legend number 2. Brad Holmes Bulge, BHB, had a question for us. He was asking, who is the next Lion to get a contract extension? And he gave some options below.
Yeah, just some thoughts. He said
Derek Barnes.
Yep. Carlton Davis.
Taylor Decker,
Fitu Melifonwu,
and Aleem McNeil.
And it's none of those.
Yeah, and I want you to go ahead and talk about who you are, because I agree that he's going to get an extension. The guy that you're going to say, I know who it is, but I think it's one of these guys on this list.
Before him? Aiden Hutchinson. That's the obvious one.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing, and Brad Holmes Bulge is a pretty, I shouldn't say pretty. He's a very intelligent person, so I think he was probably omitting Hutch on purpose because I think that was an obvious. So maybe that's the question.
Well, so maybe he might also be thinking that they might just pick up his 5th-year option. He might not get a contract extension.
So maybe we omit Hutch just based on the way he asked this question. Let's just do that for the fun of it because Hutch is the easy one. Mm-hmm. So you go ahead and say who you're going to, and then I'll go.
I think, and it's going to be based on how he performs this season,
mm-hmm.
but Aleem McNeil. I think the rest of these guys could very well not end up on this team. Taylor Decker is the one exception I think might be the guy to take a discount to stay because he's just been here his whole career and he loves it.
And that's my answer because of that.
But Aleem McNeil is one that if he performs this season, they're going to have to tie down. And they've made a lot of cap room moves that have left them with some good money next year to be able to spend.
I think that was a Hutch move, though. I'll just say that. I know we're not supposed to be talking about him, but
they could probably afford both, though. You might not be able to get big free agents, but they've already talked about their inclination to sign the guys they draft.
The one who posed this question is also the one who kind of turned me into a non-Aleem McNeil contract believer. I love Aleem McNeil. I think he's awesome. I think he's going to be a great player. I'm not saying good. He's going to be a great player. I think he's a casualty of the cap eventually, and I also think that for what they're paying these interior defensive linemen, I don't think they're going to give it to Aleem. He's going to ask for the bag, and I don't think we're going to do it.
It's going to be a high price tag, but the question,
and it should be.
And like what I'm saying right now is, I'm not paying him at this point. If he has another year like he had last year, I'm still not paying him.
Okay.
If he goes off this year because he has DJ Reader next to him, a running mate on the interior to actually eat other blocks, and he goes off, I don't see why you don't just give him the bag.
And possibly some pretty decent edge rushers that are healthy in James Houston and Hutch. So, I mean, yeah, it's possible.
To me, I don't see why you don't just give him the bag, especially with our pedigree of who we're drafting. We're going to be getting a lot every year. We're going to be getting talented players on rookie deals who are going to come in. And those guys are going to be revolving doors where we have to replace.
Yeah.
With the contracts we have, and that's fine. That's how the league works.
My answer is TD, and it's only Decker because, like you said, he's going to take a whether it's a vet minimum or some kind of reduced amount to stay. He's already made it clear every year after year. He says he wants to be a Lion for life. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He said it every year. I think they're going to make that happen. I think it'll be some sort of reduced role. It'll be something where he takes less money. But if we're not talking like who should get a contract extension, who's going to play the best to get one. If we're saying who will be the one that the Lions decide to extend soonest here, I think it's going to be Taylor Decker just because of how easy he's going to be to work with. That's the other thing is Aleem's going to drag this out a little because there's going to be some other stuff. I think Taylor Decker will sign just about the first one that hits his table.
All right.
So
next up, Team Randall 1 from X says, "Are we in need of safety depth?" I'm going to go ahead and say no.
No. I don't think so. I think we're good.
The clear-cut answer, I'm going to give just a brief thing. It's not going to be very long. We have Joseph. We have Iffy. We have Branch who can play. We have Sione Vaki who can play. We've also got a guy last year, undrafted free agent, Brandon Joseph out of Notre Dame.
I forgot about
still
that.
There. There's way too much talent. I don't see us doing anything. I know there's going to be a lot of Lions fans disappointed because Quandre Diggs is still out there, and I'd love a homecoming, but we just don't need it.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
It's not.
So I think we're good, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so next up is Mr. Ed315. In your opinion, which players might be on the bubble for making the Lions opening day 53-man roster? I think we can leave this. We talked about the salary cap casualties. Those are going to be a lot of the same guys.
Thing.
So just refer back to that question from One Pride Muse.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. So next up is CY Goff, and he says, where do you think a healthy Emmanuel Mosley fits into the cornerback room? I completely forgot about Emmanuel Mosley, just being honest, and that may be another cap casualty conversation. But go ahead.
Okay. This is probably going to be another cold take. People aren't going to like this. He doesn't.
I don't think that's a cold take. To me, I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that because we've got young guys.
I'm going to clip this portion of the show and I'm going to save it and I'm going to just superimpose it into any time that Brendan tries to disagree with me in any future shows. So he'll just be like, I agree, and it'll be a different jersey, a different shirt every time.
To be honest, this is just inflating my ego because it means you care about my opinion that much that you're going to do all this extra work.
All right, whatever. Whatever. I got no rebuttal.
Emmanuel Mosley coming off a lot of injuries. We've got a lot of young guys. We got Carlton Davis. We got Amik Robertson. It's just going to be how does he fit, and I just don't know how, especially having to recover again.
Depth for this year? Possibly.
He's going to be on injured reserve, so they might just keep him, move him to IR, and then he doesn't take up a roster spot.
Yeah, and then you activate him if you have to, I guess. I don't know. I guess a short answer is he doesn't. I don't see it. I think we've got other players that we've increased talent since giving him that contract, and I think the contract was the same as kind of the Badgley thing. It was like, we're going to give this to you in case nothing else works out. You're still a good player. It's a very it's a very team-friendly option, team-friendly contract. If we do better, here we are. So, yeah.
Moving on, we've got our last question in our mailbag from Flaw2705. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
I tried this.
When?
When I was a kid. When I was a kid.
Okay.
And I got to, I think, 30. And I would bite the thing every time.
Okay,
so I don't know.
Here's the real question is, do people still eat Tootsie Pops?
I don't know. I didn't even know there was a lemon-flavored one. That's a crazy thing. I saw that the other day. Yeah, I'm
that would be
real.
good if it didn't have the Tootsie Pop center.
The only reason I ever ate them was because of the I'll say this correctly, Native American with the bow and arrow shooting the star. If you got one of those, you could take it to the downtown country general store and they'd give you a free one. Mm-hmm. They don't do that anymore, so I don't care about it.
I don't remember that. I remember seeing the star, but I didn't know what it was for, so I just threw them away. Maybe we'll make a video on this. Maybe we'll do something where we test. I'm more scared of me licking it to the point where it gets sharp and then I'm just dicing up my tongue.
Because that does happen. Yeah, the way that's true. That's true. We should try it.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Flaw 2705, stay tuned because we may be finding out that answer for you.
I will say, I would also be afraid to do that on an episode and then have one of our friends from the Bulge Army take us licking that Tootsie Pop and do something different with it.
I'd be glad to. Make me a champion for it.
I don't need a Tootsie Pop, he says.
You guys go ahead and put edits of me licking a Tootsie Pop on, like do like a football edit, like the super dramatic ones where they put the music over top.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I need a highlight video. That's what I need. Somebody needs to put a highlight video of my best moments on the podcast and then just start off with me licking the Tootsie Pop and then just go boom.
Yeah, and then at the end they can flash up your stats of how many licks it took.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be hard. That's going to go hard.
Oh my gosh. All right, whatever, man.
So we've reached that point. It's time for our see what's going around in the rest of the league and sports in general. That was random time. So let's talk about some other stuff other than Lions stuff.
Yeah. So to start off here, Darren Waller, tight end for, I don't know. I know for sure the Raiders and the Giants. I don't know.
Most recently recovering from the knife wound he got from Kelsey Plum's lookalike in his newest music video.
Well, okay. So actually in my notes I have, he's hanging up his cleats and retiring, and I'm wondering if he's retiring because his music career took off.
Listen.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
No. I'm serious about this one. I don't know. That song is probably.
Let me hit you with some wisdom.
No. That song was probably trash, but I didn't listen to it because I didn't want to listen to it. Darren Waller has been a musician before that point.
He's on Madden.
I know. He has songs on Madden with other NFL players.
They're not bad.
And they're not bad. So,
this one was bad.
I mean,
the rest aren't bad. This one was bad.
To me, it's just crazy the fall off of Darren Waller. Like, he was a top 3 tight end
for
like 2 years.
Yeah, they were saying Mark Andrews, Kelsey, injuries though. It's injuries.
Derek Carr made his career.
His hamstrings gave out on him basically for real.
Derek Carr made his career, whatever.
Gosh.
So we've got 2 pieces of news next coming out of Pittsburgh. I'll let you hit the first one.
Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of throw this out there. Mike Tomlin actually was extended through 2027, and the only reason we're throwing this on there,
well-deserved.
Yeah, the only reason we're throwing this on there is because it is well-deserved, and it just seems like, let's get to week 8, week 9, maybe even to week 12 or 13, and Mike Tomlin is on the hot seat every year. I don't know why that is, because I don't think he's had a losing season for Pittsburgh since he coached there, I don't think.
No, he's never had a losing season.
Never. And he's on the hot seat every year. So it's finally, we get 2 years or 3 years of people not saying he's on the hot seat, I hope. So, whatever.
And it's not like he should have ever been on a hot seat in the first place because
we don't care.
When you lose Ben Roethlisberger,
yeah,
and you have to find a quarterback, and you're just going through a revolving door of...
You put your chips in Kenny Pickett,
yeah. And...
Mitch
Trubisky.
Oh gosh, I've tried to beat you to it, so you couldn't say the GOAT.
The MVP. and then you get who else have they? Mason Rudolph, who got beat over the head with a helmet.
Shout out Myles Garrett.
And there's other ones there, and now they've got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields leading the way, which maybe it works out.
Russell Wilson's feeling rejuvenated, which is weird because it's deja vu when he went to.
Broncos, wouldn't even be the equivalent for Pittsburgh for Broncos country. Let's ride.
I don't know. Steelers country. Let's weld.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're welding.
Yeah. So maybe watch out for that video on their social media. Maybe that's coming. But
he's gonna be in a welder's helmet. Stop! I can't.
Moving on to the second piece coming out of Pittsburgh is our...
He's got it and he just flips it down and starts welding after he says it. Oh, man. Okay, anyway, move on. Please hurry up.
Moving on to our next one is kind of Lions tie-in, but Cam Sutton just signed a deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's back on a 1-year prove-it deal with
Pittsburgh. Yeah, he's back on a 1-year, $1.21 million contract. So he got absolutely caught on his cost.
Major. I can't remember. What was he going to make here, 5 or 6?
I don't know. He was making a good deal amount of money because he was the top corner free agent there.
It was more. It was 10.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
yeah.
I mean, legal troubles will knock you down a peg, and they're trying to make sure he's gonna actually put in the work.
So. Watch him go there, and again, maybe he was in the wrong scheme, just like you said about Carlton Davis in Tampa.
Yeah.
But watch him go there and have a year like he had when before we signed him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Anyways,
moving on, the next piece we have, it also includes a little bit of Lions stuff, but they are July 10th. Netflix will be debuting their short, series that will continue off of the quarterback series that they did last year. It's going to be called Receiver this year, and obviously it'll be following wide receivers. So we've got Las Vegas.
Kind of. They got a tight end in there for some reason.
Fine. He is a receiver. He's not a wide receiver, but Las Vegas Raiders, Devontae Adams will be there. Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson will be on there. The Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And San Francisco will be featuring both George Kittle and Deebo Samuel.
I have a thought on why that is.
Okay, go ahead.
Because when they were filming this, they were like, well, Deebo's always hurt, so there's a good chance we'll need a different person who will be in San Francisco anyways.
I don't know. I think I would watch just to see Deebo sitting there, like, doing nothing because he's paper mache broke.
Yeah, I guess so. And then Kittle went and got hurt too anyway, so I don't know. But
they're both injury prone.
Oh, man, dude, I'm just going to say, so...
They might have to cut that whole segment out of the show.
I am excited for that show. You're right. They're probably both going to get hurt just sitting there watching themselves on the show. But anyway, I am excited for that show. I think what they do with it is really cool. I saw Quarterback. That was cool too. But the love for George Kittle in their promo trailer was weird.
I didn't watch.
He was like 50% or more of it. Like, I mean, Devontae Adams was in there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's weird because it's not like you're like...
Dude, he was like in all of it.
Well, it's not like it's like he's a star more than the rest of the guys. I mean, you've got Devontae Adams, who was the number one receiver for a long time, and Justin Jefferson, who is now the number one receiver in the NFL.
And here's the thing. This is a homer talking, obviously, but I think a lot of people would say, well, Kittle's got the personality, and so we want to show the personality and stuff. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a good personality. He's got a personality. So I just don't get it. The Amon-Ra aura is great. Devontae Adams, he doesn't have that personality. I don't think Deebo really does either. But to put Kittle, it was weird, dude. It was like we're gonna show Devontae Adams for 2 seconds, Kittle for 10, and then we're gonna show Amon-Ra catching a ball, and then Kittle at home dressed in his Santa Claus pajamas or something. It was weird. It's weird. But whatever.
Anyway, well, that comes out July 10th, so if you have any interest, it'll be on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Last piece of business we finally got an announcement on the Madden 25 cover athlete, and it will be, as we predicted a little bit last week, Christian McCaffrey. He will be gracing the cover of Madden.
It only makes sense. It really does. I mean, the dude deserved MVP last year, in my opinion. He should have had it.
He really should have. Anytime you have a chance to give it to a non-quarterback, I think you should, and he had an unbelievable season.
When it's that obvious. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it just because you don't want a quarterback every year, but goodness gracious, dude, dude
like
was that
these
team
quarterbacks
for a while.
were having, like, very, regular quarterback years.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, and I don't care what you want to say, Lamar Jackson did not deserve that award.
Not again. No. I don't think
The first time he killed it. He should have gotten
it.
This year, he did not deserve it.
No.
It should have been McCaffrey.
It should have been him. It was a runaway.
If it wasn't him, I mean, there were some other people. There were some defensive players that could have taken that award. Myles Garrett had a really good year this year.
I mean, Goff was in the conversation for the first 10 weeks of the season. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the conversation. I don't think he was ever going to win.
I'm just saying, if you're saying, if you're throwing out, not having Lamar in there, I'm just saying there are other players, even quarterback players, that could have had it.
I'm just glad that the Madden cover went to CMC and it wasn't Joe Burrow. Like, there was a lot of speculation, because to me that just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why you would put an injured quarterback on the cover.
I do. I already told you why.
Why? Because you could protect yourself from the curse because you've already got someone injured on.
We're going to break the curse. We're going to put somebody on there who's already injured, and then we're good to go. In that case, I hope to look on there and maybe see if Deebo Samuel's in the background.
Let's be honest, though. The curse has already been broken. We talked about that. It's already been broken.
It broke with Calvin.
Josh Allen played last year fine.
It broke with Calvin.
Yeah, there's been some that have gotten it, but mostly it's been dead for a long
Back
time.
then, though, dude, I will say back then. When was he on there? 2014?
Who,
CJ?
Calvin?
Megatron?
13.
13?
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, the curse was alive and well back then.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And when I saw that he was going to be on there, that was the most bittersweet thing I've ever. I mean, like, I'm like, oh, dude, okay. Oh, no.
And then that was that the year that he had, like, his huge year, almost 2K?
I don't remember, but
was that the year prior? That's why he got on.
That's probably why he got on it. I don't know.
Okay.
Calvin was always awesome, so
that's all we've got for this week. We're hoping that we pick up some even more good news for you Lions fans. I don't know what's better than getting Jake Bates on this team, but hopefully we get something better next week.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, OTAs are done, I believe, so we're going to be going into a little bit of a slower season. We're going to start talking about. I think we should do a couple things like, maybe fantasy football, a couple things there. I don't think we're going to make full shows out of it or anything, but we'll just kind of
we can do a segment here and there.
Our insight into what we're thinking and stuff. And mainly the reason I want to do that is because this guy never tells me who he's going to draft in our league, so I want him to kind of give me a little bit of that info.
I mean, you can always try and play catch-up, but you're never going to catch me.
Well, I mean, yeah, you lied to me last year about Jamar Chase, and then you ended up with Christian McCaffrey, so...
I wanted Jamar Chase, and I got the compensation.
Consolation?
Yeah, consolation. Sorry, consolation prize of Christian McCaffrey at the third pick.
JJ went
and
first.
I was pretty upset that I got Christian McCaffrey because I was sure he was going to end up injured at some point.
By pretty upset, he's saying
I'm pretty happy now that I got him, though.
By pretty upset, he's saying he was 2 rooms away from me, and I heard him yell at the top of his lungs when I made my draft pick.
I was on the toilet when that happened.
I knew that, but I wasn't going to put that out there. So
I mean,
Brendan can't come to the phone right now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it for our show. But we got a few things we just want to mention here at the end. We are still active on Buy Me a Coffee if you want to support us.
Lions Banter.
You can go out there and send us a little donation if you feel like it.
I think it's anything from $5 to $25. So
yeah, anything helps. We're always looking to bring in some extra cash to help improve our studio, which. You'll see we're planning some stuff. We're gonna try and switch around our studio.
Yeah, thanks to that awesome Empire Contractors, sponsorship that we got. That's definitely gonna help us along here, and you guys are gonna see some cool stuff start happening here. Yep. So
we are still running that giveaway on
2
YouTube.
giveaways.
Oh, we got 2 giveaways. I didn't even know. I'm out of the touch on my own show. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got the giveaway. We got to get to 300 subs on YouTube. Brendan's got it right here, but you'll see it better on our X page. We've already seen that it's hard to see on the camera, but. That is that Jameson Williams PSA rated 9. I think it's out of 25 rookie card. We got that one, and when we get to 300 subs on YouTube, the next one we have is the big one. That card means nothing. Mama Courts at Mama Courts, Courtney on on X. I apologize, on X. She makes these awesome jackets, and they're all custom. There are no 2 alike, unless you want 2 alike, I guess. But they are all 100% started from nothing. You get the jacket, or she gets the jacket, and then she puts the patches on and all the other stuff. She's actually like bedazzling one right now as we speak, I think. We're gonna give that away when we get to 1,500 followers on X, and we are at 722 when I checked.
Yep. Just to clarify, it is a completely custom jacket. Like, you will not find another one like this unless somebody ripped off Mama Courts. But
correct.
Completely 100% custom, commissioned just for us to give away to you guys.
Yes.
So get us to that follower mark. What was it, 1.5?
Yeah, 1.5, 1.5, yeah.
1.5K.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
You say things weird.
We get there. One of you guys is gonna win that, and that those jackets are nice quality. I saw it. It's like if you want to see it, go to our Twitter. It's our pinned post.
Yep.
You can see it. It's like a motorcycle style jacket. It's dope. It's got some sweet colors on it.
If you're, and that's the other thing. Like, that one is an option, I believe. But she also wanted me to point out that this is not just a Lions jacket. She will commission any team. So if you're a Lions fan, you're watching this, you're seeing this. If you've got fans of Philadelphia, or
why would you just jump to that one? Why wouldn't you
because I just can't stand them. I was like, what would be the worst case scenario to see on a jacket? But anyway, It doesn't matter. I think it could be hockey. It doesn't matter. She makes these jackets from scratch. She can, basically do whatever you want. 1,500 subscribers or followers. 1,500 followers on X, and boom, we're gonna give it away. It'll be made to order, so it's the right size. It's whatever team you want, and it looks the way you want it.
Yep.
So.
And then finally, we'll just end by talking about our other. Not really a sponsor, but we're partnered with Righteous Felon Craft Jerky.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to go ahead and plug them.
Yeah. Go to righteousfelon.com. We've got a code on there. If you go and check out Lions Banter is the code, all one word. Get 15% off your entire order. It obviously helps us out with a little kickback, so that is definitely we thank you for that. And then any order over $50, you're gonna get free shipping. So
yeah. So that's it for us this week. We had fun, Lions fans. It was a good time as always.
We love those mailbags, man. That's always fun.
We got some good stuff. We'll be looking forward to interacting with you guys this week on X as always. And go Lions!
Go Lions, baby!